Hello and welcome back. We just spent a few days in Detour, Michigan, waiting for Lake Huron to calm down a bit. It was a few days of rough conditions. I really liked the slip I was in the marina, though, because it allowed me a fantastic view of all the ships coming into and out of the St. Mary's River. If you like watching Great Lakes ships, this is probably one of the best harbors to stay at. It is very easy to get to from Lake Huron and doesn't require as much of a time commitment as going up to Sault Ste. Marie does. And all the traffic going through Sault Ste. Marie passes by here anyway. It is a small village, and there's not a lot to do. However, there is a grocery store and Dollar General within easy walking distance of the marina. So it's also a great place to stop if you need to resupply. We have a rather short day today. Heading from Detour, we will be heading west to the Les Cheneaux Islands, which are about 25 miles away, then going and anchoring for the night in Government Bay. It is a chilly, overcast day today, and the forecast is calling for waves and wind to be building on Lake Huron throughout the day. So we are leaving bright and early to take advantage of the early morning weather window. It was a cool experience following one of the big ships out onto Lake Huron. I don't know what the name of the ship was or what it was carrying. However, the big cranes made it visible far beyond the horizon, which ended up being a cool effect. The island to the right is called Frying Pan Island, and as of June 2024, it is for sale for $500,000. Could be a very cool place for a small cottage or even a seasonal restaurant. Let me know what you all think and what you'd do if you owned that island. In the short amount of time it took us to get down to the Les Cheneaux Islands, the wind had picked up quite a bit. But on the bright side, the sun had started peeking out of the clouds. A strange sight as we enter the islands are these long streaks of bubbles. I didn't see any other boat activity that would have caused them, so where they came from is a complete mystery to me. Usually when I'm out and about, I like to pause and explore the area a little bit. I'm turning to face a little bay right now that was listed as a anchorage on my chart. With the wind direction, the anchorage wouldn't have been as protected as I would have liked today. However, I like to look at these for future reference if I ever come through again. There were more direct paths to the Anchorage we would be staying at tonight. However, I decided to take a more winding path through the islands to really enjoy the scenery. Since we were already off Lake Huron and the islands were well protected from waves, I had no real rush to get to the Anchorage. The islands ended up being a beautiful area to just cruise through. There were lots of houses and cottages on all the islands, however, they were spaced decently well apart and had plenty of green space in between, giving the whole area a really nice aesthetic. It's important to look at your chart while navigating the area. Unless you have a very, very shallow draft, a few of the bays look like they get shallow. There are also a lot of weeds in the area. Usually if you stay in marked channels, they'll have buoys in some sections. All the other boats keep the weeds down. Just something else to be aware of. Looks like all of the islands are pretty sparsely populated and doesn't seem to have any ferry service to any of them. So it looks like everything you need has to be boated in. We're going to be passing a workboat here on the left that's delivering some lumber to somebody. The big bay to the left is Government Bay, which is the anchorage we will be staying at tonight. The bay is about a mile long, meaning there's plenty of space for quite a lot of boats in here. Almost the entire bay is about 20 feet deep, and it gets down to about 6 feet as you get closer to the shore. Looks like the most popular area to anchor in the bay is the southeast corner. There is a nice sandy beach over on that side where anybody can pull up their boat and go walk around the public island. Looks like the island also has a few really nice camping spots with water views. I was able to get down there after I'd anchored with my dinghy and hike around the island a bit. I'd highly recommend going and exploring the island, but definitely bring some bug spray with you, as I've learned the hard way. I decided to head up to the northeast corner of the bay, as it would give me the best protection from the wind overnight. By the time we were ready to drop anchor, it was only 9 a.m. It was a very quick and easy day today. Between the clips before and this clip, you can really see we came into the wind shadow of all the trees here, making for a pretty easy and nice anchoring experience. The nice thing about being the first one to an anchorage during a day is that you're the one that sets the pace for the entire anchorage. Everybody else generally fills out the anchorage based on where you are. There was about 10 feet of depth here, and I was planning on putting down about 100 feet of rope and chain because I was worried the wind would pick up in the middle of the night. So that would give me plenty of holding. The anchorage did fill out a little bit as the day went on, with probably about 8 or so boats anchoring overnight. I was a little concerned when 2 smaller boats anchored within pretty much swing distance of my boat. During the day it was perfectly fine since there wasn't a whole lot of wind blowing us around, but as the evening came, the wind started picking up a bit more and it became obvious they had less rowed out than I did, and we were swinging kind of close together. So as politely as I could, I asked them if they were staying overnight, if they wouldn't mind relocating just a little bit, since they had more crew members than I did. It would have been easier for them. And they politely moved about 200 yards away. There was plenty of room in the anchorage, so everything worked out fine. While editing this video, I came across a little bit of a mystery that I caused for myself. This is the only image of my boat I have in the anchorage back in 2022, and I cannot for the life of me remember why I would have all of my fenders out at anchor. It is not needed for the dinghy. This photo also does a pretty good job of illustrating how the Ranger Tug is very squirrely when it anchors. It does not wind vane into the wind very well and spends a lot of time going back and forth at the hook. It's not something that's too noticeable when you're anchoring, it's just a little quirk the boat seems to have. Well, thank you for watching another one of my videos. Next time we will be heading down to St. Ignace, where we will be meeting some of my family for the Chicago to Mackinac race. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I should have the next video out soon. Until then, have a great day, and I will see you next time.